Hello everyone and welcome back to the Positive Success Show. I'm your host Dominique Narciso and I have a super special guest with us today. Her name is Jan von Schleh. She is an award-winning author. She's an amazing friend, an amazing creative, and she's about to make this huge transition back to the United States. And so, Jan, welcome to the show. I'm so excited to have you here.
Thank you, Dom. It's a pleasure being here with you tonight.
So everyone, Jan, I met Jan when I first got here to Seoul, South Korea, and she was just so welcoming and awesome. And at the time, I was kind of struggling with what I wanted to do, and I found out that she wrote a book. And I'm like, Jan, what do you mean you wrote a book? She's like, oh, I wrote it. And she casually said, she's like, oh, I wrote a book. I'm like, where's your book? Like, when did you write it? How did you write it? And anyways, Jan is this amazing, creative, prolific person in so many different ways. So Jan, tell us how how you got into writing, into the arts, while also working. And a lot of folks have these passions and these ideas, and they want to do things that are meaningful and are part of their dreams, but they don't know how to find that time and carve out that time to create.
Yeah.
So can you walk us through, how did you do that? How did this all come to be?
Well, that was me too. So my husband and I, we've been in the Foreign Service now for 20 years. And I've always had this creative side of me. I've always worked at the embassy, had these more, professional official type jobs. But I've had this other side of me. So I love beauty. I love art. I love music. I'm a prolific reader. If in all these countries I've been in, I hunt down, find all the artists and buy art from them, and find people that are making pottery and artists and poets, and but I never felt like I had the time or the energy or really I kept putting it off. I kept thinking, this is something I'm going to do someday when I get home. And our last post was Manama, Kingdom of Bahrain, probably one of the hottest spots in the world. And I don't know what happened, but I had been grocery shopping, got home, hauled all the groceries in, really ready to faint from the heat. Laid down on the couch and was doing a little bit of biofeedback, right? So I was trying to bring my temperature down, and all of a sudden I found myself up in the mountains, up in the Cascades, up in the Cascade Mountain Range, where my parents used to take my brothers and I on hikes when we were little. And there was a town up there called Monte Cristo, and it was a ghost town. It was an abandoned mining town, and it used to creep me out. But as I was laying on the couch, suddenly I was there, and I don't know if it was the heat or what, but I just started really tripping on this place and imagining things. And I started imagining this story. And I laid there for a minute, and then I got up and went to my laptop and just started typing, which is pretty strange. I don't know if it was perfect timing, just being in that place at that moment with that heat, and trying to imagine home and, ferns and moss and rain and the Pacific Northwest. It would never have a moment like that in the heat. I don't know what came over me, but I just started typing, and I started writing this book. And people wonder about it, so I'm asked all the time, how did you write a book? And the story came to me. I started in on it, and then I became almost obsessed by it. And I'm a really social person. Normally I get to places and I immediately have a bunch of friends, and we, besides jobs and working, we do lots of fun things. But this time I didn't do that. I really just committed to getting this story down, and that's what I did every night after work, and I would take the whole weekend and just work on this book. I don't know.
That's amazing.
And I think that's what you have to do.
Yeah.
You have to really, you have to decide this is something that's more important to you than other things, because other things have to go, because you can't do it all.
Oh my gosh.
Not when you're working too.
And so you wrote the book while you were working also?
I did.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I know. What a feat.
That's
I can hardly believe it myself.
Oh my God.
It's pretty crazy.
Oh my gosh.
Because, you know the kind of work we do and the
Yeah.
intensity and sort of the critical nature and just how all-encompassing this life is. I mean, not only do you have the work, but you have the lifestyle and the, all the social things that we have to do too. So, so I just... I stepped into this thing, and that's what I tell people when they ask me, how, I've always wanted to write a book, they say, and I've never just been able to do it. And I tell them, you really have to make 100% commitment, because it's just not going to happen any other way.
So good.
Yeah.
I'm curious, did you always want to write a book? Like, was it something in your mind in the past, or did it just like intuition and like the creative spirit just came through you and you're like, I'm just gonna start typing on this
kind of, yeah, that was kind of it. So I've always been a voracious reader. I mean, I started reading when I was probably 7, 8 years old, and I was reading Jane Austen and things like that, which was probably way beyond where I should have been reading at that time, but my parents encouraged it. And I know I can write, but because I write, I write things and people say I'm a good writer, right? But as far as writing a book, not really, it hadn't occurred to me. I thought my path would take me more towards art and painting and that sort of thing eventually. I didn't imagine I would write a book. I really didn't.
So...
I know. But it just came out. It was inside me. And there's a lot of me in the book. There's a lot of family. Not that this is about my family, but, sometimes I think you're just kind of working some things out. And, when we're overseas living this life, we miss an awful lot. So we miss home. We miss our family and friends. And so sometimes you sort of do a little pining away for that, and this might have been, that coming out, writing kind of a book that tied in with my childhood, really. These two 15-year-old girls who, one of them was actually quite a bit like me. Well, actually, both of them. Two different personalities, but two different sides, like me.
Can you share just a little brief synopsis of your book? Here it is.
Oh, okay. Well, basically, my book is about two girls. Are the main characters in a house. So actually, this old Victorian mansion is kind of a character too, in a way. But it's about two girls. One's living in the year 2015. The other one's living in the year 1895. And they end up in this house at the same place, at the same moment, just 120 years apart, and they end up switching places. So it's about a modern girl going back to 1895, and this very sort of, shy Victorian girl going forward into time to 2015, and it's about their journeys trying to get back. But in the meantime, the modern girl that goes back to 1895 falls in love with a boy, and the girl that goes forward in time falls in love with a life. So and so even though they want to get back, suddenly now there's some twists and turns. And it turns out that there's some strong connections between people that you just sort of you find out about as you're going through the story, and it's kind of a surprise ending.
Oh my gosh. So great.
There's kind of like the ultimate sort of surprise at the end.
So this is the book, but not forever. Yay. With Jan. No, that's amazing. And like when I think about it, what a feat to be able to write this book despite having a job and then just getting it done. And so like, I guess, can you timeline wise, how long did it actually take you to write the full book and then submit it for publishing?
So it wrote me, It took me to write about 7-8 months, and then there was all the copywriting the revisions and proofreading and all of that. So I think from the time I started writing it till the time it was published was probably about a year and a half.
But wow,
it was a while.
It's so incredible. I mean, even though, because you wrote the book and all the editing, all that stuff had to happen, but still it still came out, and it's won so many awards.
Yeah.
So if you all have a chance, go check out Jan's book, But Not Forever. Jan, this is incredible, and this is just the first of many creations. Can you tell us and share with us kind of what your next steps are moving out of this lifestyle into the next adventure? What are you planning to do?
Well, I'm going back to Seattle. We own a house, an old 1939 kind of a cottage that needs a big remodel. So I'm going to be working on that. My brother's a general contractor. I'm writing actually another book. It's a follow-on to this one. I'm about halfway through, so I should hopefully be finished, within the next few months. And I'm also going to be, I have some creations that are in me that I think that are wanting to come out, just like this book. So I'm going to start doing dabbling in some art and seeing where that takes me. So I'm really excited about that side too. I mean, this is something that, you just work so hard, and you've got the kids and the life, and you just sometimes don't get around to doing what makes that. It's not even that you're not doing what makes you happy. You don't even really know sometimes. You're not thinking about yourself. What do I want to do? What do I want out of life? And I'm finally at a place in my life where I can start really focusing on that. So we'll see where that takes me. I'm excited about it.
Oh no, I'm excited for you, because I know you're gonna just create so many amazing things.
Yeah.
I mean, you have the passion for it, you have the heart, you have the vision, and the energy. It's like it's emanating, like the creative energy.
Yeah. Well, when I look at all of this, it all goes back to my love of homes and house. Like I said, almost a third character in this book was this amazing house. It's a old Victorian home. Where I live in Seattle, we're surrounded by, and I'm in an old home, 1939, but there's other even older homes there. I have a passion for homes. I have a passion for fixing them up. I used to be a realtor. I was a broker for Seattle for many years. And so what I love to do is buy little homes and fix them up. It's a passion of mine. So it kind of ties in. And so I'm going to be focused on, I don't know how it's gonna work, but I think I'll be working out of my house, doing some art, and kind of focusing a bit on some homes, drawing some homes. I think, and kind of getting into the whole thing.
That's so great.
Yeah.
No, I love it. It's like you have one idea, and there's other ideas, and there's other ideas, and so it just builds off each other, and I think that's why I love what you represent and how you live and how you pursue that pursuit of creation. I think it's so great, and so like for our listeners and our audience, can you share any ideas of how to take that first step to express your creativity? Because I don't know how many of you all have traveled to Bahrain and in the hot sun, and I don't know if you can recreate that exactly, and like carrying groceries, and then being inspired, and then just writing a book in 6 or 7 months.
I'll tell you how you can recreate it. Go into the hottest sauna you can find and pour water on those rocks, because it is not only the desert, it's also amazing humidity too. So it's just it's crazy.
Well, let us know if you try that, and if a book comes out of it, then maybe that's a method.
Yeah, there you go. Well, it definitely was taking me out of my comfort zone, just heat wise. I mean, I sometimes just I could hardly bear it. You open the door in the morning and you want to go out to your car that's sitting 10 feet from you, and you think, am I going to make it? I mean, that's how hot it was.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I've never experienced that.
Yeah, it's
amazing.
It's crazy. So I would just listen and pay attention, and and not wait, because I think we have a habit of thinking, I'll get to that. I've got plenty of time. Just let me get the good job. Let me buy that house. Just let me have some babies. Let me get the kids grown. And you turn around and all of a sudden, it's 20, 30 years later and you haven't done what you thought was something that was really important to you. It kind of gets shoved off.
Yeah.
And I would focus on that. I would give yourself permission to to really drill down and get away and sort of think about what you want to do, and then do it. Give yourself permission.
No,
it's hard. It sounds like it would be so easy.
No, but that's the challenge is things do fall to the wayside because life happens, and it's easier to do all the things rather than focus on the things that really light you up, because it's a tug in, it's a push and pull. Like where do you put all your energy and efforts? And what I like is that you just say, like, don't wait. What are you waiting for? Like, what are you waiting for? It's like, just go and do it.
And the other thing I think is important is you have to surround yourself with positive people and people that are going to lift you up and be happy for you and maybe even help in some ways. Take the kids for the afternoon, or encourage you to maybe take a weekend by yourself and go down to the beach and book into a hotel and just get down to it. I mean, that's what I try to do. So we met a couple years ago when we ended up here at Mission Soul, and we were drawn to each other because I think we both have that sort of that positivity and that sort of passion. And but I would have to tell you that probably maybe not 10 years ago, but 20 years ago, if you had met me, I don't think I had that same positivity. I think I was more of a serious person, and maybe not as happy, not as upbeat. So I've always been upbeat, but just I think I'm at a different level now at this point.
Whole other upbeat.
I'm so happy all the time, and I think it's because I'm finally doing what I want to do, and I'm surrounding myself with the people I want to be with, and who are really adding to my life. It's a great feeling,
Yeah, no, and I think that's it right there. It's doing what you want to do and surround yourself with the right community of folks. It's like everything starts to get aligned. Yeah. And when things are aligned, it's like it just flows. Yeah. It's just like magic.
Yeah, I really feel that. And sometimes it's hard because sometimes these people are in your own family, or close to you in some respects. They're friends from high school that you still see that maybe don't have the same level of zest for life and are not adding to your to your positivity. So it's hard sometimes, but anyway, so that's what I'm doing. I'm actually getting on a plane in a week and going home. So I'm really excited about it.
Everyone, watch out for Jan, because she's gonna be like doing amazing things, producing amazing things, creating amazing things. Yeah. Jan, so how do you like stay positive when there could be a negative, just negativity around, or an obstacle or a challenge? What do you do?
I remind myself all the time that so when I'm around sort of negative people or things that are just maybe not positive, I just remind myself that everybody has their own struggles, right? Everybody's struggling with something. As we all are, you look at people, say on Instagram or something, you're scrolling through, and there's people look like they live these perfect lives, and I guarantee you that they have something going on. A lot of times there's something, and so when I'm around negative people, I don't take it personally. First of all, I don't take that on, and I just try to remind myself that everybody's fighting a battle. And then I try to give a little bit of myself instead of getting, pushing back or getting defensive or something like that. I try to get to a place where maybe they can talk to me, and they can come and I've actually had quite a few people do that while we've been here, and have a lot of friends because of it.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, you just have to give of yourself, and you have to keep giving without an agenda.
Yeah.
Without a, hey, what am I getting out of this?
Oh, so good.
Yeah.
So Jan, final question. What does success mean to you?
Success, well, happiness, and then doing what you are passionate about, as much and as often as you can, because it's going to be, life does get in the way. It's not always perfect. It's never going to be perfect. But to try to make, at least most of your existence happen in that space where you're, you're really authentically yourself, and you've got good people, you're surrounded by good people, you're doing exactly what you want to do, and you're sleeping well at night. That's also a good thing to have happen.
Oh my gosh, Jan, thank you so much
you're
for
welcome.
being on the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
It's such a pleasure. Where can people find you online? Where do you hang out on social media, or how can they get in touch with you?
So I'm not on, I am on Instagram. I have a personal account, and people can follow me there, but I'm actually going to be going home to Seattle and putting a business account together.
Okay.
I'm not sure where this is going to lead me.
Okay.
But I'm feeling compelled to do it. Okay. I think that between just, my books and going a little bit further in the art world, I don't know where it's going to lead me, but but you can find me on Instagram.
Okay,
Jan von Schleh.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Miss Jan von Schleh, author, awesome friend, artist, creative. I wish you so much luck in the next adventure.
You too. I'm going to miss you.
Okay. Bye.
Bye-bye.